recording.
Well, when you're in, I'm on email.
So this session for me is about messaging, but more from a technology standpoint, what we want to do with messaging. I don't want to dive into the softer side of messaging, the copywriting side. That is important, and we'll get to that, but that's not what this group essentially. So what I want to do is talk about messaging from a technology standpoint, what we need, how we want to trigger it, what type of combinations of messages we want to do, and put a plan in place to develop those capabilities, either by using off-the-shelf systems or building something in-house that will work to serve this. And let me touch on the main topics. I put them in the subtopic here, which is multivariate testing.
Are you wanting to project it, or you're no?
I'm going to use the whiteboard. So multivariate testing, which is very simple, and a lot of tools exist to do email multivariate testing today. We can use that, but none of them actually do text multivariate testing. None of them actually do voicemail multivariate testing. And we want to build a platform, or we want the capability to do all three of those. Voicemail is not just voicemail includes both leaving a voicemail by the CSR, but also dropping a voicemail without a CSR involvement in it. So multivariate testing for all of those type of messages. It's when I say multivariate testing, it's to the extent of not having to write, the thousands of email or thousands of text messages or thousands of things that we want to test out. Multivariate testing actually doesn't mean that you have to test out all thousands of them either. It just creates parameters, and the system is capable of then forming a combination of those, using a combination of those parameters. For most of the time it's called a recipe, and it tests out a much smaller number of recipes, but is able to then extrapolate that into what the best recipe is to work on. And
can you clarify when you say multivariate testing? Are you talking about, so for example, it can be 10 kinds of voicemails, see which one performs better? That's one kind of it. The other is what combination of a voicemail and text is something that works better for a certain kind of customer, right? Or is there?
It's actually both. Optimizing on an individual voicemail, individual email, individual text, but also the combination of them, and the trigger points. What comes first, and based on that action, what should be the follow-up step? So, for example, we recently just started testing it, and we found out once you leave a voice message, then if you send the customer a text immediately after leaving them a voice message, it actually gets the customer to respond. It gets a response from the customer. A higher amount of customers respond to that than just sending them a voice message or just sending them a text message. The timing is critical. Referencing that you have just left them a voice message in the text is critical, because that triggers something, a better response rate from the customer. So those type of things, but it has to be a combination of, we have to be aware of what responses the customer is giving us, and then trigger other messages accordingly. If you truly want to become this low touch, don't need 1,000 people call center even when we are doing a trillion market cap, then mastering that part is really critical. And that will be an evolving system, right? So what I want to do is, at least for the next 3 months, map out what a system we can build, and then we can expand upon that.
My question, should we build the system, or there are people out there who are specializing in this? So should we just partner with them?
I am open.
That's a Sandeep question, actually.
Yeah, I take it why build it because we need to do it fast, right? I think the key is to learn it as opposed to build it.
Yes.
Or even learn from it and then build it.
Then build it. figure it out. So I can go that route.
And I'm good with either or option. I haven't found a system that does all three and all three to this extent.
No, there are these systems that will tell you what the message should be based on the customer type, and then it's up to us to use our medium to send out the message.
Okay.
And then how does it optimize from there?
So whatever, when we send, the report has to be fed back to that system, and that system will learn itself. Next time when we have to send something, what is the message that has to be sent to the type of customer?
Because the question is like, whatever, if it's origination oriented or collections oriented, that third party system, how will, because I don't understand how it works, right? So how will they gauge if that's the optimal response we want? So if it's a collections text message, how are they going to know that they have scheduled a payment with us? That's the question.
So that's the trigger point in our system.
That is the trigger point in our
So,
system.
so I mean, we need to know, like, opened it. Did they open the email, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's as critical to know as did they actually take the action that was in the email. All of those steps need to be.
Or if they did, which point did they drop off at?
Correct. Yeah, the whole funnel. And then it's never going to be one recipe that works. So it's going to be then segmented. For this group, this recipe works. We're going to send it this way. For this other group, this recipe works, and it's going to be so we need to have that type of complexity
Or
and
you
learning in
guys
the
build
system.
the AI for it, and I'll just plug it.
So there are a couple of things. Because Hemant, I'll back up a second. You start by saying, hey, it's not about the software aspect of it. I think I definitely respect where you want to put the line. But to me, there's a little bit of a fuzzy line because as I'm thinking about, just crafting the message based on the behavioral aspect of things, if they're doing a certain way and crafting, right? The software aspect of it will involve technology. You need to assess the database to actually craft the message. So in some ways, the line gets blurred. I understand you don't want to go there just yet. But, I think is your question that it should all be built from the analytics?
Yeah, in fact, the portion where it decides, for this type of customer, what is the optimal message that has to be sent? That's based on a model,
correct,
right?
That's ours.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If you build that model, then, I just use the model, I consume that model.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But we're still talking about potentially a third party.
No, we have two routes. We either have a third party do that modeling for us.
Or we try and,
Okay, the model. Model we'll do, right?
yeah, the implementation of it.
If we are going to do the model, then the implementation is all on our side because we don't want to give this model to somebody else.
But we can plug it into a third party software which already has
The third party software is out there.
Yeah, the vehicle to deliver this because the A/B testing and all the results, that will just looking what's the highway.
Yeah, so then we have to give this model to somebody else. So there are.
But we can, we don't
we
have to do them all. We can just do trigger points, right?
Yeah, we can do trigger points, which means what sends out is up to us. The A/B testing is up to us.
Right.
I guess one of the tasks coming out of this is to evaluate plug and play options out there.
Plug and play systems will do the modeling for us. We send out the customer base to them, okay? And they will send the messages, and they will learn from the messages. And when the emails were opened, whether they reply to the text messages, they will do all the studying internally and tell us what is the for this type of customer.
So there's some intelligence already built in that.
There,
We'll probably need to add that. So I think so.
Absolutely. So, so what happens, right? All these companies, right? Based on their customer handling, they build some knowledge base of how
they will also learn from our customer base
and modify it and customize it to our benefit, right?
to our benefit.
Absolutely.
That part is already they'll handle that. If we want to do the modeling, we do the modeling, and we just do the A/B testing from our end. The A/B testing part is a simpler part.
Once I get the data, but the execution of it, who to show all that, that's still going through.
No, who to show is already the foundation is already there. So when we want to, let's say there is a message that has to be sent to a customer, your model will tell me that based on this customer type,
Send text first,
text
voice
first,
mail,
voice
1 hour
mail
later,
second.
whatever.
So we have the ability to send text, we have the ability to send voicemail, we have the ability to send email. So based on your model's input, I just need to send what has to be sent first.
So
then we
Then if we do it on our own, the only thing you will be lacking from a plug-and-play system is that once you get the data back, you have to decide if it is working or not.
Yeah.
Not, and that's
which,
really
which
the
I
only
want to
difference.
do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, which has to be part of his model
Yeah.
because the model
Correct.
has to train itself, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now we have just 3 pipelines. We don't have the third one yet, but we have MailChimp, we have Twilio. MailChimp, I'm putting,
Events,
yeah,
campaigns,
but MailChimp and what's the other one?
Mandarin.
Mandarin was part of the same.
Yes.
I would also add to that Lob, just because physical mailers are also an option.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't have WhatsApp, but we have something else that you are using for sending.
Drop voicemail.
Is it through Twilio again?
No, we have not figured that out. This Twilio workaround is only what we have.
Okay.
Let's keep it there.
We'll evaluate
Figure
it.
it out in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I love the functionality of WhatsApp.
Yeah.
We want to have the conversation we can.
Yeah.
And just for everybody's clarification, WhatsApp is you don't even ring the customer's phone. You actually are able to drop a voicemail without actually ringing the phone. So it just shows up as a voicemail. Doesn't even show up in the missed calls. So
Email, text, voice apps, and what's the last one?
Physical mailer.
mail.
So through API, they'll print it out and they'll mail it out. So we just have to give them the digital copy.
We're doing all 4 of them today, or maybe 3 or 4?
3 out of 4.
We don't have
Perhaps we
this
haven't
one.
onboarded.
We don't have that now, but that's coming out shortly. We'll have to do it.
We don't have,
Yeah, by
Voicemail.
December that'll be out. So
but
From how much I've sent, Tina, the infrastructure is there for me to
Yes.
tweak it any which way you
Yes.
want and how
Precisely.
you want.
So
But-
if a trigger has to, if a communication has to be sent out, and if from the database, if I send out the model, send out to the model saying this is the load ID, then you can tell me which one to send to and what to send. I can send it.
But primarily we're looking at 3 forms of communication, right? Text, email, and
voice
voicemail.
messages and
And letters.
Physical
letters.
mailers.
Physical, direct.
So currently we have it, but we don't have the tied up reporting at all. Right now,
We'll get that in place.
right now, I don't know which customers have opened this email and which customers have responded, even responded to a text, like who sends the text back. We don't have a,
We do.
We do.
we do know, but we don't know in combination. So
Combination.
I can't say, I want to see all the customers who have opened an email and then responded to a text.
Okay. Open.
We have the data.
We have the data.
Yeah, MailChimp
We have
gives you
the
that
data.
Not
feature.
easily pulled, I think it's.
Yeah.
Only 30 days data we have.
Oh, that's.
We'll get that pulled into the database.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to
We have-
put.
we have-
Yeah, we'll get.
Which platform gives us 30 data only? MailChimp? Okay.
MailChimp, yeah.
Is that a subscription thing?
So we need to start storing it.
Yeah, Mandarin. Okay.
Yeah. MailChimp can even give you, if there's a link on that email and you click that link and gone to a
Yeah.
third party, it can even give you that. So it's a
Yeah,
fairly,
the link tracking,
yeah, it's a very,
But the other thing is not available is whose email address was not right, like we didn't deliver, we got a bounce.
We
or
have,
We
something.
have
we have
the
that
data.
also. Mailchimp.
Yeah, but we don't have it.
In the
When I say,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
system for,
Right.
It's not easy enough.
yeah.
How
Same with
challenging is that, Tina? Because I
No,
know
not
we
challenging at
start
all.
doing it.
We
Very easy.
we have to create MailChimp supports webhooks, so we just have to read. Yeah.
Also, Tina, for the calls, can we have a flag which says that whether the customer picked the call, it went into voice?
Whichever has a recording has a pick.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of calls which which are there in the database, but they don't have recording. And it's like, I got 10% of them who had a recording. So, only 10% of calls have recording. That means only 10% of calls got picked. Is that, I don't think that is the case, right?
We'll do one thing. We'll do a comparison with the Twilio report inside Twilio.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then we'll know whether that's accurate or not. Yeah. We'll mark it.
Okay. And Lob is very tough. I don't know what we get back from Lob. Is there a return mail we get
Yes,
from Lob?
We do.
We do.
So,
Okay.
and if you go on to their platform, they'll tell you exactly whose addresses couldn't reach. Sometimes it's just something, actually 90% of the time it's just something that, they give you an apartment address, but not the suite number. So it's things like that, and they send it back to us. And as long as we try, I've checked with Lilia that as long as we try for Wisconsin, it's okay, but for physical mailers, collections, we do get a bounce back, and that data's stored.
And so maybe one of the things that we would even implement is sending everybody the loan agreement. Maybe it will be worth the cost if.
Physical loan agreement.
Yeah. Again, this is all about can we reduce some of their FPDs or other defaults coming up, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we can even try sending them a physical loan agreement after the loan is done, so they have a physical reminder of what their payment schedule is going to be.
There's a study that shows like there's a lot of psychological, it's a psychological aspect where if you send them a packet of information, it makes it seem official, and it's not just behind a screen, but they have something physical hanging around their house saying that this is an official loan.
Yeah, and my thing is, trigger points, the messages after loan is done, right? The messages needs to induce them to visit the portal at least once before the first payment is due. Those type of things will get them to make, at least psychologically get them to think, oh, my payment is coming up due and I need to pay this. So those type of actions need to be tracked. If they visit the portal after messages. So I guess I come back to, we have this hood. I believe you're saying we can track and store all of that data and make it available easily.
Yeah.
So that becomes our first immediate project. That becomes, and that's something that especially if we're losing data in MailChimp, every 30 days we lose, then that becomes a super high priority.
So to confirm, have we lost it, or have we every other month or every month? Do we
only have it for 30 days.
we haven't been saving it for the past couple of months?
So
Maybe they have it in an archive, they can damn them, maybe they
In an archive?
their office is right down the road. We can do business there.
So Tina, what are we using today? So MailChimp for mail, Twilio for
Here for text messages and
voicemail.
nothing. We don't have voicemails now. We have to implement it.
Logpost for physical mails, yeah?
Physical meaning, like a US post?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you give me like a quick 30-second version of like the time element of what we're doing right now? Like, where are the mails going out? Sure. Yeah, you can paint that picture.
Yeah. So from a mail standpoint, when we get an application, so actually let me do that. So when we get a lead that we purchase, we send a mail and we send a text when the lead is purchased. And saying, Tina, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, okay? When the lead is purchased, most of the time that message is about signing the loan agreement. Go here, sign the loan agreement.
And then bank verification.
Yeah, and bank verification.
So when we get a lead, physically, it does not mean that there's a person sitting just waiting for something to show up. They put it at some point, they're doing their thing, right? And we've accepted them, then we email and.
Actually, it means they're waiting to show up. There is an active lead, active customer that's transferred to our website after we purchase the lead.
So they're on their computer.
They're on
asking what's the duration of time that may elapse from when they did an app versus.
It's actually, there's no duration.
Yeah.
There's probably a minute. I think it's a minute.
Can I run down the flow real quick? So you go online, you go to moneymutual.com, you apply for a loan. It says, please wait while we match you to a lender. There's just a thing that's like scrolling through, it's buffering. And it says, congratulations, you've been matched with Leap Credit. In 3, 2, 1, you're going to be forwarded. So you get forwarded to our site. And you're already logged into a portal. And the first page you see is consent and a loan document. So it's literally within 20 seconds, this entire process is done.
They're not logged into the portal. correct me if I'm wrong, they
are.
They are.
They are logged into the portal, yeah.
They are not logged in. They have to enter their email address.
And the SSN, there we go.
And
Okay,
then
that was wrong, yeah.
but
Yep.
yeah, which actually we should make it where they are logged in.
Yeah, we should. That sounds easier.
Yeah.
Is it? It's a
How do we
security thing.
know
How do
that?
we
It's
without
a
an email?
security
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's a security thing. But that link should expire within a minute or something like that. So, you know what I mean? We can do a unique credential, that link should expire within a minute, and
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
they have to log in using the regular. So if they click on the link after a minute, they have to use the credentials, otherwise they don't.
So right now it doesn't expire?
No, right now they
Goes
have to
a
log in
login page.
themselves.
They have to put their email address and social
Give them
security
some work to
number,
do.
and
Yeah.
and
And then we do the validation of the lead, right? And then it says it's approved or not denied or whatever it is, right?
So continuing on what Ritika said, 80% plus, and I pay very close attention to this,
Yeah.
80% plus customers actually get redirected and land on our website.
Sorry, come again?
80% plus number of leads that we buy actually land on our website. So that's, and that number, like that, I pay really close attention to, just because if I see a source that's only doing 60% of redirect, then
Something wrong there.
I don't want to buy from them. So it's a manual process. I trigger, an email whenever I see it. I reach out and say, hey, that I'm not paying for this. I need an explanation of what happened here.
Yeah. And as common sense would dictate, if you aren't forwarded due to network issues, due to an affiliate issue, or whatever it may be, you're less likely to convert because you just went from application and there's been a gap when you see the loan agreement. It's not immediate, so you're no longer in that frame of mind. So that's why he keeps a really close eye on it.
Yeah, and if they have that gap, they will go shop for it. So we have, going back to, we do that mail and Twilio, mail and text trigger. We need to do a voicemail trigger at that point. Right now, our speed of contact, and this is where Paul's speed of contact comes in, right? Right now, our speed of contact is 30 minutes at best, in best case scenario. So what's happening is if somebody did not get redirected, then 20% of people are not hearing anything from us for 30 minutes, at least.
That right now is a phone call from somebody like Courtney.
Yeah.
Or non-automated ones. For automated, it's how fast.
For automated, it doesn't matter because they have already,
Basically giving them
they have already,
to sign, right?
correct, they have already signed. But for non-automated, and I'm assuming some people get redirected but don't take an action and wait for the 30 minutes. That's very percent. But I'm really worried about the 20%.
custom
Sure.
range.
And we set a target of 3 to 5 minutes, but it's not happening.
Correct. So that 30 minutes is causing at least a 20% gap. And if we look at that 20%, that there's people, we are only converting about 9% of that people. Right now, the conversion rate there is only 9%. So it's a big chunk of.
20% mean they are folks who put this thing and this don't go to the website, whatever happens. But they get a text from us.
Yes, they get a text and an email from us.
And an email too. So
So
what's the,
it really proves that they're no longer in that frame of mind because they think they need the money right now and they don't see an application immediately. They're no longer in that frame of mind.
they got a text pretty instantaneously.
They do, yeah. They get a text immediately. They get an email immediately. They don't.
What does the text say? That loan is approved or denied, right?
It says, congratulations, your loan has been pre-approved from Leap Credit. Please, click here to sign and stuff.
But the thing is, they do get a text and they do get an email. Email is passive, I understand that. Not everybody's on top of their email all the time. Text message, I don't have visibility into the deliverability of text message right now. Maybe we do and I just don't know it.
Yeah,
So
we
you
do.
don't know if we do it, or you don't.
It gets saved into the table. Yeah. This is the text.
No, but do you get how many bounce back? That's the deliverability I'm talking about.
In fact, I just as an aside, if there are text messages and numbers bouncing back, we need to deny them due to our inactive phone policy. So that should be an immediate trigger, just asking to decline the loan for the LMS.
And however many people use their home phone still, I don't know, but
flip phones and not.
So when do you want to deny it? Is it text?
If it's an inactive phone.
And what about email?
We can always call them and get them on the line and get a new email, but I can't get in touch with them to get a new phone number.
No, I know, I'm just
Harder.
saying that what is the action which we would want to take if the email doesn't get?
Actually, we want to verify both.
Yeah.
So there are services like Ideology, which give you an email verification whether that email exists and how long it has been around and all that. They look at phone number and tell you whether the name is on the phone number or it's in a family account, or if it's a home line, they actually match the address to the phone number and give you that information as well. So essentially fraud prevention, not prediction, but fraud prevention.
We're talking to Pindrop early next week. I'll add you to that invite. But
Perfect.
can I add one more thing here that we don't have, but we need to find a vendor for is because our speed of contact's bad. We talked about this before, but I think we should just give them a robocall that says, hey, here's what you need to do. If you still need to speak to someone, press 1 and we'll add you to the queue sort of thing. That way we know speed of contact is immediate and they know that someone can answer their questions.
Auto dialer. Is it? Robocall?
No, but
Auto dialer,
auto dialer
there's
is
two perspectives, yeah.
Auto dialer means dial and then give it to a CSR to talk.
Yeah.
Robocall means you don't give it to the CSR.
Yeah.
You dial and then read them a script.
Yeah.
I'm saying let's connect both.
of them.
That's what Twilio was also recommending.
Yeah.
So you dial like 5 customers together and have the script also ready. So if
But even an auto dialer does that.
that's
Same
what
feature.
auto dialer is, that's what she's saying. I'm saying. So
DRC.
Royal we.
yeah.
But continue, yeah. So Twilio is capable of doing both?
Yes.
Okay.
So both in the sense it's one functionality. So
Okay.
you dial 5 together.
Okay.
First one picks up. So it gets connected to the CSR who is free.
Do they get read something or do they have an option to click IVR, use IVR? Because we want to reduce the number of people reaching the CSRs.
Yeah.
So first person who picks up gets connected to the CSR if the CSR is not talking to anyone.
Okay.
The second person who picks up while the CSR is on call with the first person on some other call gets read out the script. Okay, and then the last part of the script should be, if you still want to talk to a person, stay online, we'll add you to the queue.
Okay, that's ideal.
So yeah,
And this is in place or it's starting?
It's starting,
November
19th.
19th.
Never mind. So you need somebody to
Write those scripts down.
write
Yes,
those
yes.
and read those.
Write those is enough. Twilio has a voice that will read it.
I think we need a better voice, not
You
a.
have a list of voices. I will send you the URL.
I don't
No,
think
I
you
think
like
it-
any of them.
No,
I
they
don't-
have integrated,
I don't
we
know.
have to use one of them.
We need someone like with Sandeep's voice that's like.
We have a set of
I need
voices.
the money now.
Twilio has integrated with Amazon Poly,
Okay.
which has a set of
So
voices.
let's listen to that. I don't mind spending on voice.
Yeah,
Let's not just go that route because it's
easy.
integrated in it.
Yeah, but that's the only option we have with Twilio.
Oh, we can't use voice files.
And we can't use voice files. Then they can't pick up the press 1 thing. You know, so if you want to speak to an officer, then press 1. You know, if they have to recognize that, it has to be read out by Twilio. It has to be an IVR thing.
That's a limiting. I've used IVRs where you just have MP3 files saying this, then wait for response, and
Yeah.
then based on the tree, do
Trigger,
this
yeah.
or do this.
Yeah, my understanding is you have to do that, but I can check with them if there's another option.
If it's like Amazon's Alexa voice, that's
200 odd
fine.
voices they have in different
Okay,
languages.
we'll hear that.
Yeah, hear it. Maybe better
I
than
will
your
want
voice.
Yeah, and they're
And
pretty
one
good
more-
actually. I'm telling you. I've actually
One
used a
more
lot of these.
tool that I really want to add is a chat tool that is at the time of lead purchase, when they're on the loan agreement and not signing it, or when they're
On the customer portal.
on customer portal. That's when, and that chat tool, we can put some canned messages, but if that chat tool doesn't do, if all it does is says call us, then it's not useful. So we need it to be a richer, better experience. That chat tool I think that can increase our conversion rate just by auto conversion rate.
So you see that the CX map which we have done, one is the chat tool at that point of time. Even on the website, we need a chat tool.
I know, but we are not driving so many people on the website yet. So
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying because the
I think
same
his
tool,
meaning
Yeah.
is the portal.
because when on the landing portal as well, right? When the login is there, even that time the customer needs some assist.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
getting me, right? Yeah. So when he's putting his login and all that stuff, right now we have a leave a message. If you can have a chat tool, that helps because, and I think he found a very good report saying any assist thing is helping conversions, right? So that assist will help us to do that. And then, I mean, on the landing page, when we come the contract, if you have a chat tool or an annotated contract, like an FAQ on the side, which actually helps him understand the contract and kind of feel that there's something which is helping him.
So continuing with chat tool can be used at multiple places, but right now what I'm saying is at least focus on the customer portal, because that we can at least limit the depth of that chat tool and get it rolled out faster than answering all types of questions that would come up on the website on the front end. Then continuing when what is triggered. When payment dues, 2 days before payment is due.
Oh no, after funding.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So my handwriting is really bad and you can't read it, but after funding, there's a mail that
And the text.
and a text, and for Wisconsin, there is a
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, a letter goes out to the spouse.
Only to the, is it only to the spouse?
There's, after they paid off, the person gets a note saying it's paid, but the first initial trigger is
It's
just
only
for the
also-
spouse. It's as part of their tattletale thing. So, but after the end of it, they require a watermark paid across the page, and that's sent to the main applicant.
Okay.
That's a legal requirement.
Yes, it's a legal requirement.
All states.
No, just Wisconsin.
And Tina, one thing
I
is,
can check that.
we are talking about chat,
Yeah.
and just on a very side note, I want to, the way we have put in those social media profile collecting, we remove that. You can't take that real estate on the customer portal.
Okay.
Yeah, it just, and in future, you and I can coordinate on when we put stuff up, where it goes and all. But it's above the signing, and I believe it's taking away the prominence of signing the loan agreement, right?
Yeah. Actually, doesn't take away, but there is more screen.
Yeah, there's more options. We don't want to give them options at that point. After the sign, we can select all types of information.
Okay, fine.
But Tina, because we are collecting that, we need the ability to send messages via Facebook Messenger.
You can use Facebook Business Manager.
Yeah.
That's a
So we
really
need the
good
ability
tool
to send them
to
in
communicate.
messages via Facebook Messenger, and that is growing in prominence now, and especially in countries like India, right? WhatsApp is like every banking system uses WhatsApp.
Yeah, Twilio has a WhatsApp API. Yeah, it's a new thing that has come out. WhatsApp
But
API.
in US, if you look at it, Facebook Messenger has a
Prominence.
it milked it. So as we look for systems, we need to. Okay. Continuing here, Sandeep, we send them at funding. Then we, on payment due, 2 days before a payment is due, we send them again email, text, both of them, say your payment is due, if you need help, respond back to us. That's where who is responding to, and what are we generating the right response? Are we actually triggering them to change a payment because we are sending the text, or are we actually able to reduce FPD by sending that? We need to figure that out. Is it inducing the right behavior? Are we just giving them an option when they did not need an option is also a question.
Ritika, today, last couple of months, if you look at FPD, like, what would you say are like the biggest buckets for that FPD? Is it still imbalance, insufficient?
Insufficient funds makes up, I think, more than 80%.
Like that's
the main thing, is insufficient funds.
So when they receive this, let's say, assuming they are aware of their bank account, they see this, we expect them to call us and that's the only option, right?
And there are people that call in and say, hey, I know you pulled a payment, it's gonna return, but you can try pulling it tomorrow. There's people who do that. Not everyone's as responsive, but one of the things I did want to connect on later today is collection speed of contact, which essentially as soon as they return, we need email, text message, and call triggers that we're calling out to them.
So we are doing email and text messaging right now. I think the call triggers is what we need to do. But as you were talking, one of the things that's interesting, maybe we need to introduce another funnel in the middle to just say, are this your right payments? Are this your right payments? Like try to figure out before the first payment comes to you.
Because that's what I'm thinking, right? Because we send them a reminder in 2 days. Maybe I'm just not going to have what am I going to do? I think the only option is to call.
Why not have them, if we're removing
no
the
customer
social
portal of
media
any kind.
blanks before
The
they sign,
customer not have a
why not
portal to
have
do any
that verification
communications
as
with
part
them.
of the sign?
I don't know if they do it by community and customer portal.
We need to define first. I don't want
After signing maybe?
after signing.
Okay.
So, Dana's not here.
You were saying?
So let's say they see a text and I know my balance is just not going to be there. What
Yeah.
are my options?
You can text back help, or you can call us, or you can email us.
And
And you say call text help means what? You'll get a call back.
Yes.
Any way to automate the process and not have a human?
Yes. So what we're working on right now is to add a link to it, to where they can go online to reschedule it or change their pay date or just fill out the consent for us to change it. We also need to change the messaging on that text because it just has one sentence and it just tells them to text help. In fact, it would be much easier if they just text back, this is my date, just change it.
If I go back to my question, if they get the text from us as a payment reminder, does it tell them that if they have a problem, they can do these things, or are we just waiting for them to text? Do they know what to do with it?
They only know to call, text, or email us.
It says that.
Yeah, that's it.
And it says call text if you have any.
This is what it says. Okay, so actually, this is what is the message which goes.
Their options are to just, if you have any.
What we've done is actually map the entire flow with what messaging we're going.
And let's also remember the text message for if it's not an iMessage.
And then this is the email which is going down
Has
there.
to be less than.
Text will less than 160 characters, otherwise it gets broken down into 2 different messages. And the later part comes
We need a
on
link.
top. Because
Say that again? It's truncated
160 breaks it down into 160.
if you're on iPhone, but if you're not on iPhone.
Because we send text messages via Twilio, I don't think we send iMessages at
Yeah.
all. So everywhere it gets truncated to. And so what happens is, if your message is longer than 160, then the first part goes first, and then the second part goes second, right? But the second part is on top when they read the messages.
Yeah, okay.
So just the interface, if you're doing more than 160 characters of messages, it's really bad. You have to figure out how to frame it properly.
But which is why I think the best use of that 160 character is a link. Is, your payment's coming up, please click here, so whatever it is, in that 160 characters, we need to input a link that they can go online and make the change themselves.
Or send 2 messages, one after the other, but broken down in a way that you send the link first and then send what they need to do with the link in it. And so they have the explanation on top and then they click on the link.
How many of them we were discussing? How many of them have smartphones? All
On the slide, I think
it actually makes sense.
I'm sorry, what was the
They
question?
all have
The messages.
Not all of them.
Can you just present that so that everybody can see?
There are smartphones. They can click on a link on a phone.
I think that majority do use smartphones.
They do?
Yeah, I think we looked at some data before we decided to proceed with the app. But yes, majority do.
Yeah.
That's a question like content I was discussing. I know you were talking about potentially I just have this good old flip phones with no browsing capability.
Yours are there? Can you put that like this?
I can. Maybe I have.
I just mail this to you, right?
That might work, yeah. I don't carry the adapter. It's in the
Same
office,
problem.
yeah.
How many things to carry?
Using a Mac.
I'll mail it.
So we want to do like a blast to like every single person in the portfolio saying, is this your right pay date or not? And we want to do it periodically throughout the life of the loan, because I think it was you that once said that this demographic changes jobs every 60 to 90 days, right? So you want to keep asking them if it's the right pay date. What Hemant has suggested is maybe we should do that prior to their even first payment, just so that maybe it'll help us reduce FPD. So there's actually two things we discussed doing. Was one is this your right payment? If not, go here. That's one thing we need to introduce. And the other thing is just ask everyone for a bank verification. Just, blast that out there. That way we can at least see that in retrospect, if we did pull the payment, did they have enough funds when we initiated this?
Yeah, so whether or not they,
Or the first day.
whether or not they give us bank verification before getting funding, even after receiving funding, we need to continue to ask for a bank verification.
Throughout the life of their loan.
So I think that's good, but default has two contributing factors. One is affordability, and that one is willingness to pay, right? So they actually do have a fund, but if you have a chance to say, hey, is this your payday? And they say, no, it's going to be next week, and the week after. So.
But they get stuck with overdraft fees. They don't want to do that. They get really pissed off. You should listen to some of these call recordings. If we pull on the wrong date, they want to let us know.
Right. So I think that's a good message to include.
Yeah.
Right. This is the effort to reduce the non-sufficient funds. Right.
Yeah.
If you have, then don't change it unless you really have a change of the payday.
Yes. Their incentive is essentially to avoid insufficient funds fees with their bank. That's one of, because we have pulled on the wrong date in the past.
It's bad.
That's one of the reasons they reach out, is because, hey, you just cost me 30.
Does it cost us as well?
Yes, it does, actually.
Right.
For our lowest payment provider, costs us around $2.95. Our highest bounce is $12. We don't use them much. It's PPA. But they get stuck at the minimum of $25 and the maximum of $34 I've seen. So they don't want to do that either. And I think that's good. That's a good point to include in the text and say, hey, if you help us out, we don't want to leave you with the overdraft fees.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just to remind them that that's a thing.
Right. Just say you still own it. You have remaining 16 payments.
Yep.
Changing the payday doesn't change your number of payments.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Precisely.
So there's no incentive to say, hey, just prolong it, right?
So,
The whole effort, of course, you can make it less English.
Absolutely. Less English.
Less words.
Less
More succinct.
More efficient, but
Sandeep,
ready.
this is what basically, we've taken Hemant's process map and mapped it and taken down each messaging which is going down. So this is the first slide in terms of how it looks like. Okay. Yeah. But more important is this next page, where the website, right? So we said that we need a chatbot. We have a message here. So I think we have a chatbot on the website that will help.
There is one now.
Yeah. Then
No, there isn't
on the
one now.
lead credit side, the information is being put here. The only issue is that one person can go from here to here directly and submit it. It doesn't kind of restrict him to pull all the data. And once he puts if he misses all the data, we just say deny. But then we get a lot of denial requests, which we can avoid by allowing him to put all the data, which is what we think can't click past sections and allows you to submit application with little info, so denied. So should not be able to do this. There are missing fields required to fill up application. Basically, we should just, like the customer survey you said, no? Very, very important.
The thing is that we don't drive organic traffic to our website right now, so that's something that can be figured out at a later point.
Yeah, and I want to continue on the message platform conversation.
Yeah, so this is a message, Sandeep, which is there. So basically, if it's a denied, this is a message which says, we are sorry to inform you that we cannot grant you a loan at this time. And this is the approval message. So either of the two messages which are there, which is what I just wanted to show.
Yeah. And again, we need to optimize this message. I completely get it, but I wanted to wrap this with what systems we need, because
The
that's
infrastructure.
the systems is what none of us are copywriters, and I'll bring copywriters in for us to help with the messaging, and we'll get all the inputs on that. But I think we need the systems in place.
So I think to me that makes sense then. I'm afraid I think you have that, like lead funding payment due. Then the last piece is every couple of days before the next
2 days.
payment, that's when this just goes
2
out.
days before the payment due, And there needs to be some more testing done on that trigger, because 2 days, is it 3 days, is it 1 day, is it 2 days and 3 days and 1 day? Do we need to do all three? Like, what is the right cadence for that type of message to get the most effective results, right?
And if we want to incentivize some of the harder to reach customers, right?
Yeah, and then it's we are sending them on a scheduler, but we are only sending them at one time during the day, like in the
Yeah.
morning. So time optimization needs to be
Time
little-
optimization.
And there are platforms that already do that, like when they connect devices and tell you when customers are active on their devices.
You know, that brings me a point. On the survey, we got one feedback. It says that we send him text 3 in the morning, and we send him multiple texts.
Yeah,
So
that's,
Tina, how do we avoid that? A customer got text 3 in the morning.
yeah, we know about that. The thing
Yeah,
is that the
we
rest of the
changed it.
time, yeah, they get it at 6 now.
No, so the feedback just comes in a survey saying somebody just said that we used to send text at 3 in the morning. So maybe it's an old customer.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Because we got those, we heard those in call recordings a couple times back in Hemant, that I decided to move it to 6 because the rest of the day there's payments going out, the server load's kind of a little increased.
And of course, as we get more server capacity.
Yeah. We can change it to maybe 12 in the afternoon.
Yeah. So time optimization is needed, but the trigger points from one to the other is also needed, which is we don't have right now. So it's okay to send a text and send an email, but if there is no response and they have read the email, then maybe we do a follow up with that.
So there's 2 things I'm gonna take away from this is, one, we need to evaluate pricing with BOAS, and then evaluate a partner for chat.
Yeah.
Okay, let me add that to Asana.
Twilio also, I think, gives chat, right?
Chat assistant, yeah,
Yeah.
so we wanna make sure they're the right ones for it, because there's like
With
there's
when
other tools
triggers,
out there that.
all the trigger points on when messages are going out.
Absolutely.
But we are doing,
There's one which you remember, I sent you the link on chat.
calls are not happening right now because we don't have enough people there. So I don't have visibility in how many calls are being made or how many customers are we actually being called yet. But we do have the ability to see emails that are going out and text messages that are going out. In call center calls, what would be, some of the reporting we need to build out is, okay, so how many people are getting the call on the first day when the payment is missed? How many are getting the call on the second day, third day? And whether we are talking to them.
So is there a thought process that if somebody doesn't respond, right, then what should be our next action?
Yeah.
So assuming somebody has said, one is like a payment reminder, so he's not paid, or somebody is not giving his bank verification, right? Then what should be our action? Should we resort to a physical calling of a CSR? Yes, no? That's something we can brainstorm.
Yeah, in those type of things. Once we have the capability of seeing that, right? Like, he's not responded to this, and this, then what else can we do? Or is it just a matter of timing? You will respond to those 3, but
Maybe
the timing is off.
it's also a portion of compelling them via incentives, right? So maybe they don't respond and we say, hey, give us the bank verification, I'll take $5 off your next payment. We know that worked really well, but maybe later in their life.
And I think everybody knows this, but I'll state it again. This is by customer segment. We have to be able to segment our customers and what's effective for that segment of the customer. We can't have one thing that, right now, we just have that every customer goes to the same waterfall or same process map, and we can't have that either, right? So different people respond to different triggers, and so
Different messages.
So I just want to know, is there a straight legislation in terms of we can reach out to whom at what time? Is it different each state, or is it common?
you can only call between
9 to.
yeah, I think it's actually 8.
Yeah, I have that. I mean, calling I have, but I'm saying
9 or something.
the other things,
Email and text, no.
there is no such
Legislation, yeah. But you can verify with Michael. I don't think there is.
telephone. I got the document in terms of who can call, what time, and how many times you can call also.
Yeah.
So that is there.
Which frequency of calling, like if somebody has applied but not signed the document, we need to really increase the frequency of calling to them. right? Because if we have purchased that lead, but they haven't signed the loan document, then it's just money being wasted, right? Because, yeah, so we need to.
Because if its conversion is 30%, you purchase a lead for X, basically you're paying 3X.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all that, the queue priorities, but that's a different conversation.
Would you, at a future point, if we have the infrastructure, is it valuable to get it down to affiliate level messaging where a lead, like a certain type of lead provider reacts, the leads from them react a certain way, then?
I think that could be one of the steps, but getting it down to customer type messaging is more important.
And when you say customer type, could you define that? Because I don't, is it like income level? Is it female versus male?
It's more the profile of the customer.
Okay.
So income level could be part of it, but if you see a device they're using, like if you're able to collect the data of what device they were accessing the loan document from.
Okay, or if they're using the app versus the website sort of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, and male, female, age, demographic,
Got it.
all of those type of things.
And is that where, I know some people wanted to collect info on what they need the loan for. Is that where that would come in handy as well?
I think what they need the loan for might be, but what they need the loan for I think that would shape the software side of messaging more than the timing of the messaging.
Understood.
So probably we can drive that through the survey later. Once the loan has been approved and funded, we are even running the survey. We can introduce a question saying,
yeah,
why do you need the loan? Maybe that can give him some messages.
To the extent of how much we can ask. We'll need to figure that out if we can ask that. We'll need to figure that out if we can ask that question.
Yeah, correct. No, I think what, remember Michael said we can't ask him at the time of originating the loan, but once the loan is funded, we can, it's a voluntary thing. It's not something which we should mandate. But
if we get that information, that's always useful.
Survey, maybe we can put that.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to wrap this session just by going over action items for the next 3 months, right? So there's a lot to dive into.
Yeah.
But if we can just, and then we'll put that as half into it. So keep me honest about what we can do in 3 months or we can't do in 3 months.
Yeah, that's okay.
Chat.
Yeah. What is
And we'll check the real time.
We have to get pricing and get started.
What was December 9th?
So that is dialer. VoAPS is the ability to leave a voicemail without dialing them. What she talked about is like robocalling is what she alluded to.
Yeah, so we'll have any voicemail.
Yes. Without dialing, leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
VoAPS is different.
And chat.
Chat.
Yeah,
Then
you have to
we
evaluate
have-
Twilio versus other vendors.
Correct. Yeah, whatever we use, it's the.
Yeah, for chat. Then
Tide
get
reporting.
the report.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. You continue. You know better. You have to do it, so go.
Get the reports from Twilio we have, but Mandrill reports need to be tied into the database.
Actually, report on all three. So,
Yeah, Tide and reporting,
so
right?
report from Mandrill, log, and Twilio.
Log has to be, but Twilio is coming in.
Twilio is coming in already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Text message, I don't know if there is a thread.
It needs to be what response we got as well. Like if somebody texted help back to us, then
We don't know whether it is reply to a text message.
Yeah, what I'm doing right now is just
Connecting
the
the
date and.
Yeah, that Twilio will not be able to give
no,
us.
but we can do the timing. If
Yes,
somebody,
that's already available to us.
okay.
That's already available to us.
And then one more step in that would be what action was taken on our side after that. So if after somebody
Whether it's
texted,
just a call.
You know what? That would be easier to track if we do the link implementation. So I would, if it's okay, we should add that as an objective. Because right now, because right now they can email us, which is what happens 80% of the time. They email us saying, I need this change done, either payment date change, extension. That's harder to track right now. So I think we should do.
We'll do the domain change to receive emails.
Yes, we need
for
to.
that. Yeah.
One other thing on the email side is I know we are capturing that email and storing it in the LMS, but
No,
we only
incoming
send.
we are not storing it in
that
there.
needs to be done.
We need to do the domain change.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that needs to be done, and we need to figure out if some of those are getting unanswered, or we need a speed of contact on those as well. Like, just responses on it.
So Tina, from my knowledge, any communication which is going to the customer, is that a possibility to capture in the LMS?
Going to is already captured.
Okay. So I'm saying,
Coming
as we
is
said, like
only-
chat now or a voicemail. So all over whatever we do from a customer communication
To is captured.
will be captured also.
It's already captured. From, we only have text. We don't have email. So that made it.
We also have voicemail.
Yeah, yes. We also have voicemail, yes.
That's good.
You forgot what you did? Okay.
So reporting essentially will capture all inbound, all outbound, all actions that were taken, and then triggers, if any, that were done through that. So say actions taken might be a payment date was changed, but trigger might be actually a call was made outside.
Third time again.
So
That we'll have to tie in, actually. Yeah, that's
just the
the,
timing,
yeah,
but
that's the timing thing.
can this be done in the next 3 months?
Yeah,
Okay.
How long did you ask? 3 months.
3 months.
He's going to actually start with 3 days and then go up.
No.
See when you say yes.
Actually, what can be done in the
You said 3 months, right?
span of 3
Yeah.
days?
3 months, right?
But Tina can surprise us.
What can be done in 3
The
days?
predicted error is a surprise.
Media aspect post signing.
FB messaging. FB messaging.
What's that mean?
Facebook.
Which booty are we talking about?
It's like, did we name our kid? Before we even knew it.
Hemant knows
So
FPD.
it's 2 things, right?
Yeah, so suddenly now he said FPD.
Social media collection, post signing.
So,
Collect social media.
social media
And I would
info
come up with S2.
placement,
Placement, yeah.
we'll, post it, we'll do the UI first. The other, introduce new trigger points for bank verification, collecting bank verification through the part of the loan. So new,
So a bank verification blast throughout different parts of the loan.
yeah.
And
bank
then also
verification,
payment verification blast.
pay date verification, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Pay date and additional messages for people to sign the loan agreement. Right, so day 1, 2 messages, day 2, 2 messages. So,
And we have to look at the prioritization logic that you put together in place with the dialer in place. Then we can maybe get closer to achieving what Hemant wanted, where we give them up to 2 calls a day for 4 days.
Yeah.
That has to be a part of the dialer too.
yeah, and then we can look at whether or not both of them are going to voicemail and how do we change the time.
Yeah.
Anything else I'm missing from this conversation?
I think that's all we can do.
Well,
3 months.
So,
So it's the social media info placement, those are those 4 things which you are.
Yeah.
Also,
Well,
message
remove that.
optimization
Yeah,
is missing, right?
Yes.
That's a whole
The
flow.
optimization part and the interface to whatever the system is.
Yes, so,
Actually, all this need to be ready for you to start, because the reports part, without getting who has opened, who has clicked, when they opened, you won't be able to build a model.
Correct, and I agree. I mean, but can we, I mean, you're already doing this, right? Can
I'm not getting a report back on who opened.
but emails you can, right? That's easy enough.
Yeah, easy enough. But I still need to do it.
I mean,
Not
she already put it.
Yeah, you can, you
Yeah,
unfortunately.
They don't see that. When they get funded, they see.
Text we already have.
What's just reply back? Yeah,
It's
you
just
mentioned.
reply
Oh,
back.
yeah, no, they don't care.
Disconnection.
Because essentially, apart from
Time, that's all that really also gives it. Because it's a text to a number. It will not tell you it is reply to the previous thing. It will only tell you it's a text.
She give us a prioritization back.
Yeah.
You understood?
yeah,
We'll know if that person texted, that's all.
That's all. Yeah, that's
But
right.
we'll know when this is as we when we thing,
Correct.
our hypothesis will be from go from here to here. That way then we can measure, otherwise we just get these tools and we don't know.
My understanding was that the data's already there, it's just not in one place.
Like
It's in
5
one
minutes
place.
versus
Now it's
an
in one
hour
place.
later.
You go to a loan, slow it up.
I need you to, well, no, I know the loan communication part.
We also there. No, no.
If we are able to recover based on the
Now it's there.
Okay,
Okay, silence.
So Sandeep, what you wanted to add?
So I'm gonna call it like the interface with analytics. I think we'll have to figure out what that means,
Interface of the marketing interaction.
with the analytics, so that they can communicate.
Today, what are you getting or doing? How do you?
Right now, she's pulling manually, so analyzing it, will communicate back.
Interface with them.
Whenever we have a little more time, I'd like to talk to both of you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are there action items third? We are wrapping up the session.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll add them to Asana.
Since the next session is also mine. I'd like to
What's the timing of the next session?
let me stop the recording here for